Bagpipes! Yay!
Fusebox. Okay, this is Fusebox number 117, Disruptor. And you better behave yourself or we'll turn this show right around.
Yeah, and send you straight to bed. Or maybe make you sleep in the laundry room near that funny-smelling canvas bag. Where did that bag come from anyway?
Yeah, I think Uncle Carl left it.
Oh, yeah. Good old Uncle Carl. He always leaves something of interest behind, right? Hello, friends. Welcome in to this, the 117th edition of Fusebox, lovingly entitled Disruptor. And I'm your talking loudly in restaurants to impress the patrons host, Mark Rose, and that over there, fingers flying over the multicolored bells and flashing whistles, is the deacon of decibels himself, Milt Keynes, everybody.
Thank you kindly. Say, did you hear something like bagpipes earlier today? I mean, I could have sworn I heard them coming from the break room.
Actually, yes. Yes, I did. Eco and Milo, the Japanese pocket squirrels, they heard the interview I did with Brian Kidd, also known as the Unipiper, and evidently were very inspired and decided to...
How the hell do they even play that thing? I mean, they don't have thumbs.
Mr. Keynes, by now we both should know very, very well that whatever those two have in mind to do, they just do it. You know? Frankly, I would think that playing the pipes was a secondary challenge for them, really. First thing being how to resist crawling into the pipes and the very bag itself, you know?
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, there is indeed. And yes, friends, we were quite fortunate to have taped an interview with a most beloved Portland character out here. The chap scoots around town on a unicycle, playing bagpipes that shoot flame out of the top of the pipes.
And wearing a Darth Vader helmet.
Yes, and of course a kilt. Or sometimes he, like in the winter there, he's adorned as Santa Claus or some other wondrous creation. But yes, we'll talk to that delightful guy in a bit. But first, I just want to mention this thing. As we on the last show, we played a little bit of that Florida Man game, and in case you missed that, shame on you. Go right now and listen to Fusebox number 116, Intermezzo. Go on. The idea is that you type in Florida Man and then your birth date in a search engine of your choice, and just sit back and wait for the results to amuse and delight you.
They were pretty damn funny, I gotta say.
Yeah, they were a howling good time. But wait! There's more.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me get a browser up here.
Oh, no. Not needed, my friend. This one, this little item here. This is a one-off, you might say. No browsers required. So let me ask you this, Mr. Keynes. If I asked you to name...
Utah.
Here we go again. No, not...
Pitchfork, Maine.
What?
I don't know. I panicked.
Okay. Well, oddly, actually, that there is a connection of sorts to that name. But so, if I were to ask you to think of the most sinful state in the U.S., what would come to mind? And let me clarify that by sins, in this case, we're referring to as they are thought of in the biblical definition.
Oh, you mean like 7 deadly sins, that kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah, all right. Well, I gotta say the first one that jumped into my head was Nevada. Vegas, specifically.
You're correct.
Do I win a prize?
Yes, you do. You get to listen to me tell you how this relates to Florida Man.
Oh, lucky me.
So, it appears that an outfit called Wallet Hub ran a survey not long ago to determine the most, quote, sinful state in the Union based on the 7 deadly sins criteria. So, for instance, gluttony was defined as the amount of obese adults in a state, or another example in the category of pride was the number of beauty salons per capita, right? So they took all these various criteria, and apparently there's about 43 different variables, as they mentioned, and averaged them all together to determine a state's ranking. So Nevada was first, perhaps, no surprise, but second. Who do you think got that spotty distinction?
New York?
Alas, not sinful enough. Didn't even make the top 5, Mr. Keynes.
Altoona.
That's a city.
Or is it?
No. I'm going to flip all the cards, and when we return after this momentary reset, I shall reveal the second most sinful state in this here union.
Well, I can't wait.
Are you tired of endless video streams of silly animal tricks, awkward human calamities, and half-baked conspiracy theories?
Yeah. No.
74.
Meh. On this. Pich.
Possibly.
Gosh, Uncle Carl. These podcasts are nothing but hot, steaming piles of shit. How does a guy find a decent podcast these days, anyway?
I know what you mean, Timmy. Here, try Fusebox.
Apply Fusebox to infected area only.
Wow! Thanks, Uncle Carl. Fusebox is the shit.
Yes! Relive great Fusebox audio moments of past shows, or current shows made previous to past shows, running currently in the past. Feed your ears for hours of not really video, but feels like it, knee-slapping, sometime wholesome, but not really audio goodness. Check out the Fusebox Show on YouTube today.
We've taped thousands of tiny brine shrimp to the steering wheel of this Winnebago, but it's to prove a point.
The show for everybody, but not everybody will like it.
Okay, so when we last left our story, it was about to be revealed who the second most sinful state in the U.S. is, according to the survey by Wallet Hub. That dubious honor goes to the Sunshine State.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Florida grabs the silver ring there. The state was actually also ranked number 1 in the jealousy category, though. That's Wallet Hub's term for the sin of envy. Researchers factored in thefts per capita, ID theft complaints, and fraud, and other complaints per capita in its jealousy rating.
Yeah, wouldn't have been my first choice there.
The others in the top 5, in case you're interested, California came in at 3, followed by Texas and Tennessee.
Tennessee?
Yeah, I don't know how they got in on the list, actually. I'm sure there must be averages that lined up there, but it would be curious to know how it got to be in the top 5 there. But
So what about dead last? Who's at the bottom of the list?
oh, the purest state, Mr. Keynes? Yeah, well, that honor goes to the great state of Vermont.
It's got to be all that syrup.
I don't know, but there you are. Oh, few other anecdotes regarding Florida's distinction here. It placed 4th in the lust and vanity rankings. The lust ranking looked at things like average time spent on adult websites and also the teen birth rate.
I see what they did there.
Well, all that energy from going to porn sites has to go somewhere, I suppose, huh? The vanity numbers are sourced from the results of Google searches for the top 5 plastic surgeries and expenditures per household on personal care products.
Yeah, so the next time you go shopping for stuff to remove back hair, remember, you could be sinning.
Yes, clearly on the road to ruin, or at least on a dog walk to smarm, you know? Amazing. On the last show, I mentioned that a live reading of a few of what we've been calling up to now Twisted Epiphanies, these short spoken word adventures with an audio soundscape, that kind of thing, would be happening, and indeed it is. It's tonight, as it turns out, the 24th, as this show is launched, and there is a link in the show notes to that thing as well. And thanks again to our buddy Kelly Baker, who graciously let us participate in his event known as Literary AF, where he and a kind of a rotating cast of writers share short and interesting stories that they have concocted for the adoring fans. A wonderful time is guaranteed. And as I say, happening tonight at the Cider Mill Tavern. And we'll give you a rundown on the next program as to how all that played out, as well as a new spoken word offering. So there you are. But now, let us reacquaint ourselves with the notion of beloved city characters. Now, you know, friends, that Portland has a very, very much deserved reputation for possessing the, well, how do we say it, the view askew. A city that truly does embrace the novel, the fringy, some might even say oddball, in everything.
Well, you know, any place that sells a voodoo doll donut filled with raspberry jam has something going on.
Yes, and a damn fine voodoo doll donut that is, I will tell you that. It's a meal in itself, though. You know? I digress. You know, that slogan, Keep Portland Weird, is really is synonymous with the attitude here for certain. And one of the most colorful and indeed delightful characters is one Brian Kidd, also known as the Unipiper, who, as we mentioned earlier, pedals around town on a unicycle, playing flame-emitting bagpipes and wearing at times a kilt and a Darth Vader mask, or maybe dressed as Santa Claus, or any number of things. Well, we had the splendid opportunity to invite him here to do a Fusebox interview, and
he showed up.
yes, he did indeed, and was a very gracious chap, and one of those kind of folks that, without a doubt, will put a smile on your face if you see him tooling around town. So, without further ado, here is Brian Unipiper Kidd on this,
The Fusebox Interview.
Well, friends, every city has a cast of colorful characters, mostly, and Portland is certainly no exception. And we are most fortunate to have a delightful chap by the name of Brian Kidd, also known as the Unipiper, who, clad in Darth Vader costume, riding a unicycle while playing bagpipes, and playing well, I might add, and oftentimes These pipes are aflame as he rides about the city, amusing people. And thanks so much, Brian, for taking time to do this with us here.
Yeah, thanks for taking an interest in this weird thing that I do.
How could we not? How could we have that? And we were talking earlier, and I think it bears repeating. I moved to Portland in 1999, and I, for some reason, had the distinct impression that you had been a fixture here for 7 or 8 millennia, because it seems like, oh yeah, that guy with the flames and but that's not the case. You actually got here
in 2007, yeah. But I guess I kind of wove my way into the fabric.
Yeah, rather quickly. Where did you originate from?
So I learned the pipes in school in Virginia, where I grew up. Yeah.
Wow. So you've been playing for a number of years.
A little while, yeah. Going on probably 17 or 18 years now.
Oh my God. And it's true. This is a good example of, if you had not created this character, someone probably would have tried badly to do it and probably succeeded at doing it badly. What was the inspiration for this character?
I don't know that there was like a single thread of inspiration. It was more of an evolution. Mm-hmm. I was learning the pipes, free lessons, I should add. I just saw advertisement for free bagpipe lessons, and I was doing that when I found a unicycle in a dumpster.
Wow.
With no intent to put them together, but I thought it would be fun to ride the unicycle, so I started to learn to do that. And then I guess having those skills, it was eventually ordained that it should happen at the same time. And then from there, it just kind of took off. I just started adding different elements of my personality, working it into this thing. And, being a Star Wars fan, I learned to play Star Wars on the bagpipes. And then I started adding costumes. And at one point, somebody was watching me play and came up afterwards and was like, "That's impressive, everything, but where's the fire?" And I was like, "All right, I see where you're going with this."
Yeah, we're going to get to that. I think what is utterly amazing, and we will have links in the show notes to some videos that I can honestly say have gone way beyond viral. I think they're a contagion at this point. They're really quite amazing to see. The audio medium does not do your service justice. And I do think of it as a public service. It doesn't do it as justice. You really have to see it. So hopefully you will click on those links, friends, and see what we're talking about here. But was becoming a mascot to the city of Portland on your bucket list, or or did that sort of just evolve?
No, like I said, the whole thing was an evolution, and what was getting me and keeping me out on the streets doing this to start with was just mostly that it was a lot of fun, and it's great exercise, and it was a really fun way for me to do the things that I was into anyways. I'd be riding unicycle, I'd be playing my bagpipes. Hey, if I can do them at the same time, why not?
Yeah.
And people responded very positively. 99.9% of the people I would blow past on the street just kind of turned their head and had a smile on their face. And when you have that kind of power, how can you not keep going?
Yeah. Now you owe it to the city. As I was researching for this interview, I came across a couple of very interesting clips. One of them in particular is why I say that what you do is a public service. This goes back to the Starlight Parade of 2018, where, and we'll link to this, but there was a series of street preachers, I think, who were trying their best to get the word out. And thankfully, the Unipiper was there in full regalia, and it was amazing.
For the humble. All the pride of man will be humble. The loftiness of men will be bowed down. The Lord alone will be exalted on that day. And he's exalted. He alone is worthy of praise. He'll be hallowed in righteousness. When we worship God in spirit and truth. We give glory to God. We exalt Christ with the timbrels and the pipes and the instruments of 10 strings and the clashing cymbals. We praise the Lord. Let everything that...
Have you ever encountered a situation like that where it got a little out of hand, perhaps? Maybe the people didn't appreciate the humor involved?
No, that was probably the most intense anything like that has gotten, fortunately. Um, in that particular situation, nobody wanted to hear what those people had to say. I mean, most people don't anytime, but, in a situation like that where everyone is just out to have a good time and celebrate Portland and the Starlight Parade, that was just a disservice. And so I just sprung to action, spur of the moment, and tried drowning them out with something I thought that I had that may be louder than what they had, and it created a scene. And I think the message was loud and clear. And eventually they walked off.
They did. And what's very interesting about that clip is that you're not amplified. It's
Right.
just coming out of the bag. These guys had speakers and they were shouting into a microphone, and it was just really obnoxious.
Yeah, there is one volume setting on the bagpipes, 11.
That's right. That's right. Just out of curiosity, have you ever tried like the Irish bagpipes?
I have not. They are a vastly different instrument. I do have a set of what are called fireside pipes, which play the same, but they're designed for a smaller setting with other musicians. But you don't really hear those outside on the streets.
Right. A little more intimate type of thing, 'cause
Yeah.
I would imagine. And you also hire out, so to speak. I mean, a person could contact you if they wanted a variety of services, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting. I fall in this weird category, like between entertainment and bagpiper and circus act. So I get hired for a wide range of different things, and I just love seeing all the different creative uses that folks can come up with for the Unipiper service.
Oh, yeah.
Probably one of the more unique things I was ever hired to do was perform for a group of dogs. They were training seeing eye dogs in Portland, and they wanted to expose them to anything they may actually encounter in Portland. And so one of those things was the Unipiper. So,
Wow.
yeah, they were a rather good audience. They'd been trained well.
I mean, who would have thunk it? It is so cool. That not from anywhere else. Just cannot imagine. Speaking of making noise, you have caught the ears of some rather notable people in the entertainment community. I know you've done the Jimmy Kimmel live program, Good Morning America, The Gong Show, done stuff with NPR. But the thing I have to ask is, how did the Wall Street Journal form into this particular list of...
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, I actually ended up on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. It was an article about how Portland responds to inclement winter weather. And you may have seen a photo or video going around at the time of myself on my unicycle with the pipes of flame while I'm shoveling snow. And so that was sort of the image they chose to represent how Portland freaks out when there's a snowstorm.
Yeah, it's just... friends who have not seen what we're talking about here, when Brian is riding around, there are flames emitting from what appears to be the very pipes themselves. Now, I know that's probably not how it works. How does it work without pulling around the curtain?
You're one step ahead of most folks if you can come to that conclusion. I get the question all the time, like, what are you blowing through the pipes? What are you drinking?
Exactly.
The real answer is a lot. Maybe it's less interesting. It depends on how you look at it, I guess. But no, I just strap a propane tank to my back while I ride around, and then the fire comes up the outside of the pipes and gives this effect that the pipes themselves are shooting the fire.
It looks to me like this was a custom deal, though.
Oh,
Someone had to have created this thing.
Yeah, you don't just go to Fred Meyer's and ask for your flaming bagpipes.
No. I tried. I did last week, and no luck at all. So you had to have somebody create this for you?
Yeah. I have a friend who does like pyrotechnics for a living. So, it's all about who you know and calling in favors when necessary.
I don't know. It just fills me with joy. It's good to know people. It is very good to know people. It's just so gratifying. I'd like to talk a little bit about, and I'm not sure if it's a foundation or a society or a thing or whatever it is, but you're affiliated with this thing called Weird Portland United. Tell me what that is.
Yeah, so we're calling it a charity or a nonprofit, and For a long time, through the years that I've been living in Portland, I just always felt like that there should be some sort of official Keep Portland Weird Foundation. Portland has this reputation for doing things a little bit different and really appreciating the wacky and the weird and the fantastical. And especially over the past, I don't know, 2 or 3 years, the city is just growing at a phenomenal rate now. And it just seems to me that you sort of see these weird things that you used to see more often, less and less. And so I thought that, we should at least be trying to make sure that people don't forget why Portland was such a great place to start with. These are the reasons that I chose to come to Portland. So for a while, I thought, well, it's someone is going to do this, and then I'll get involved with it. And I just kept waiting, and nothing ever happened. So it got to the point where I said, well, darn it, I'm just going to do it myself. So I launched this organization with the help of some sponsors, one of those being Portland Brewing, who I have teamed up with to release a Unipiper beer, and the proceeds of which are going to fund Weird Portland United and our initiatives.
That's great. And so what sort of initiatives are you...
Right. So if you say that we want to keep Portland weird, that sounds good on paper, but how do you go about doing something like that? I think the biggest service that we can do is just be a presence and get the story out. I think that folks coming to Portland now, the reasons that people are moving to Portland has changed over the years. It used to be that Portland was a destination that people wanted and chose to come to because they wanted to fit in with what they perceived the culture to be there. Now, I think you're getting a lot more folks who come to Portland because it happens to be where their job is, and Portland is just another city. And, you get a lot of longtime Portland residents that complain and bitch about that. The way I see it, though, is it's up to us, the current residents of Portland, to educate people why Portland is a great place and get them interested and get them involved in that way. So we're just trying to spread the word. We also are trying to give out some micro grants, raise money, and fund people that have new, wacky, crazy ideas. Because the question that I always find myself wrestling with is, if I came to Portland now and tried launching and being the Unipiper in 2019, would it work out the same way?
That's a very good question.
And I don't know for sure that it would. So I want to make sure that other folks like myself that want to give their idea a shot, that they still have a chance in Portland. So we're just trying to help them along.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Again, there's an idea that could have only come from here because, stabilizing that sort of view askew kind of idea is very uniquely ours. And of course, the de-weirding, I would blame on Lorne Michaels, wouldn't you? Portlandia. I'm sorry.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, because I don't think that did us any service. Is the Unipiper brew there, hazy IPA, is that going to be distributed outside of environs? How is their reach?
The reach is throughout the Portland metro area.
That's
and it doesn't extend much beyond that. So, much like our unique brand of culture, this is something that you can only find in the area.
That's okay. Makes it a coveted item now. Yeah. Okay. You're no stranger to the land of podcasting, which we find ourselves in because we're, for us anyway, I've been doing this on and off for about 15 years. But the other day I was looking for networks, just in general, to see who was doing anything out here that was program affiliated. And I happened to come across this little program called Portland at the Movies. And I didn't even realize until I went back to your site that you are in fact affiliated with that. This is how tiny this gets. So tell me about Portland at the Movie.
It is Portland, so everyone has a podcast, right?
Yes, absolutely they do.
So Portland at the Movies is a show that I do with two of my good friends, Todd Workhoven and Mark Middleton. And every month we watch a movie that is been filmed in Portland. And we started this idea a couple of years ago just because we were interested in some of, I think the first one we heard about was a movie called Halloween Town. So it was filmed in St. Helens, just outside of Portland, and I was invited to their Halloween Town celebration parade. as the Unipiper, and I looked into this and realized that this was a celebration they have every year now, honoring a movie that was filmed for the Disney Channel back in the late 90s.
Wow.
And so I, of course, going into this, had to get caught up and watch this movie, and it was just so bad. I was blown away. And that, talking to Mark and Todd, and it was like, I wonder what other movies are out there that are filmed in the area. And so we just went down this rabbit hole. First thinking, we'd probably come up with enough content, enough movies for maybe just a couple of years if we do this once a month. We now have a list of over 150 films, all filmed in Portland. And we particularly enjoy just the oddest, strangest, worst. We are digging the bottom of the barrel to find these things. And it has been such an entertaining journey.
A fascinating journey for sure. Links to Brian's website, as well as the Weird Portland United organization there, and Portland Brewery's Unipiper Hazy IPA are all listed down there. See? No. A little farther. Yeah, right there. That's right. Now click on any of those and get all the info and be thrilled and amazed at the fearless acts of daring do.
I gotta say, that video with him drowning out those street preachers, that's a personal fave of mine, man.
Yeah, really was a delight to see. And what's very cool, too, Mr. Keynes, is that our buddy Brian there is really just exercising his option of bagpipe editing. Yeah, you see, all pipers have the right to edit anyone's silly behavior by just tooting in their general direction at about 149 decibels. Works flawlessly. Our thanks again to Brian Kidd for taking the time to be with us on the show and for being part of the Portland we all know and love. And with that, friends, we will take our plaid baggage and scuffle down the street. But not before thanking our contributors in this edition of Fusebox: Brian Kidd, Sabra May, Eric Newsom, and Jeff Pollard. And, of course, thanks as well to the always looking for truth and justice, Milt Keynes, for technical assistance.
Pleasure as always, amigo. And break a femur tonight, too.
Thank you. Thank you. Indeed, we shall endeavor to create a memorable noise. Mm-hmm. And yes, but also, thanks to you, friends, for pushing play on this edition of Fusebox. And please take a moment to subscribe to our humble program here if you have not otherwise done so at whatever location you have found us, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, the OnSug channel, the Overnightscape Underground there. Whatever that might be, we so appreciate it. As well as stopping by the now nearly infamous Fusebox store, located at the fuseboxshow.com, and by merely tapping the shopping tab, located cleverly at the bottom of the page there, you'll be whisked away to a land of enchantment and wonder, filled with all sorts of wonderfully depraved goodies, all designed with the discriminating Fusebox listener in mind. And it really does help the show out immensely. So, again, our thanks in advance for that. I have been your compatible with all known formats host, Mark Rose, saying, until our next cartoon. Fuse.